Alright, so I just put the Michelins on last night. Here they are, the Michelin RS tires. So I just went on a 90-mile ride this afternoon, and they feel pretty good. Initially, it felt the first 20 miles or so, it felt kind of slippery a little bit, but that's how all tires are when they're brand new. They're all a little bit slippery. It's not that in the past tires when they were made, there was a release agent for the mold, but the modern tires, they don't really use that anymore. They don't do it anymore. It's the technology's gotten a lot better. What usually, at least with modern tires anyways, modern manufacturing techniques for tires, they don't use the release agent anymore. Why a new tire is slippery is because usually when it's made, from the time that it's made in the factory, the time that it comes out from the molds to the time that a consumer gets their hands on the tire and actually has it on the bike, it's usually about a year. Sometimes more, sometimes a little less. This tire right here, it's been sitting on the shelf for quite some time. Let me see if I can find the date code on here. It's probably inside it's probably under the fender, so it's probably covered up. Yeah, I don't see it. It's probably under the fender here. Actually, no, I do see it. It's right here. It's 18 week of 17. So this tire is 3 years old already. So it's made earlier in 2008 or 17, 18th week of 17. So this tire is 3 years old. So those 3 years sitting in a warehouse somewhere, being transported around or wherever. What happens is the surface rubber gets oxidized, and when that happens, it hardens, and that makes it more slippery. So that's why usually the first 100 miles or so, sometimes even 200 miles, depending on how long it sits. The longer it sits, the more it oxidizes deeper into the rubber. So that's why first when you get new tires, the first 100 miles or 200 miles, take it easy on the tires because they're more slippery because of that oxidation. But after that first 20 miles or so, it felt a lot better. Here's the rear. So far I'm liking these tires, especially the rear. With this because I'm using a larger, or I shouldn't say larger, I should say narrower, but larger height. Taller profile, because this is a 140/70 versus a 150/60, so it has a taller height here, so it gives you a little bit more cushion, and I actually feel that on today's ride. It felt it felt like a more comfortable ride. It wasn't quite as bouncy compared to the thinner profile. So these RS initially I like them. What I don't like, and I'm surprised that these are like this, but the shape of them, the shape here, it's basically round. There's no angle to it. Because this PowerRS, any of the Michelin Power, if it's called Power, it means it's for a sport bike, not if it's called Road, and that's for like a for example the Road 3, Road 4, Road 5s now I think they're at. They're for sports touring, and this one is the next, as far as performance goes, is the next level up on the sports touring. So the PowerRS is basically the Power 4s. Because Michelin came out with the Power 3s, and they came out with the PowerRS, and just recently they came out with a Power 5. So they basically skipped the Power 4. So essentially the PowerRS is the Power 4. But I think it's a little bit more focused on street. And everyone that uses these tires, I mean, this is my first time using them, but all the people that are using these tires, they say that these PowerRS is lasting a little bit longer than most other sport bike tires. So that tells me that I think the reason why Michelin calls them RS is because instead of Power 4s, because it has a little bit more focus towards street use. So these tires are probably something like 90% track and 10% track. 90% street and 10% road. And if you want more track, you probably and like I said, they just came out with a Road 5, so you want a little bit more track, you probably use a Road, not a Road 5, I mean Power 5. You want a little bit more track focus, just a little bit, go with the Power 5s, and I think the Power 5s are probably 80% street and 20% track, maybe, something like that. And you want more track than that, and they have the Michelin Power, or what they call it, Power GPs. The Power GPs are 50-50, track and road. And if you want even more track than that, then you go with the Power Cups. And I think they just came out with the Power Cup 2s. So those are something like 90% track and 10% road. So it's kind of the opposite of this. The opposite spectrum as far as track versus road. So anyway, so I think that's why the tire profile here, or the crown, excuse me, the crown is rounded instead of angular. Usually the more high performance the tire is, the more angular it is, and that's so that way it could, when you lean over, it drops in real fast, and it's basically it's very responsive, and it turns quick. Whereas something that's more rounded, it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more forgiving. Yeah, that's probably the only thing. I think one of the reasons why I got these tires is because I wanted a little bit more performance compared to the stock tires. But as far as how they feel, just when I'm talking about how they feel, I'm talking about leaning over one versus the other. It feels almost the same. Not much of a difference. It's kind of hard to compare with the old tires, because old tires, when they wear out, they don't perform very well anymore because it gets squared off. But if I can remember how they felt when they were new, I don't think there's that much of a difference in at least turn-in. Anyways, I don't feel it's that much of a difference. But the grip, as far as the grip goes, it felt fine. They felt grippy. I didn't feel any slippage at all. The only slippage I felt was because the road, there was like a little gravel, a little sand in the road. Otherwise, on smooth, clean road, I didn't feel any slippage at all. But then at the same time, I didn't really push this very hard. It was just a brick-in ride, so I was taking it easy. Yeah, that's it. So that's my initial thoughts on the PowerRS Michelins. So hopefully they last as long as everyone says they will. So, but who knows? You never know. All right, thanks for watching.